emergency a while ago. In the amount of how much, sir? So you were in a bind? Mm-hmm. Okay. How old are you?
20.
How long ago did you give her this money?
Approximately 2 years ago.
Where did you get it from?
My grandfather had built...
Never give kids access to money when they're teenagers. From the $10,000 that your grandfather had accumulated for you over the years, and you gave $2,500 to Miss Crawford for a storage unit.
Yes, ma'am.
When was she supposed to pay you back?
She was supposed to pay me back 15 months after the agreement was settled.
15?
15 months, yes, ma'am.
Did she?
She did not, no.
Why?
They told me I'd have as much time as I need to.
Raul says he was merely returning the rock she dumped on his property.
All rise. This is case number 395 on the calendar in the matter of Rao versus Cruz. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Ms. Rao, you and the defendant are next-door neighbors.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you have adjoining backyards.
Yes.
Adjoining yards. And it is your claim that Mr. Cruz threw some junk into your backyard, and in doing so damaged some of your property. You want him to pay for that property. Mr. Cruz seems to indicate that while he did place some things in your yard,
Yes, ma'am.
he was merely returning the stuff that you had put in his yard.
Correct, Your Honor.
So it sounds to me like you people need something else to do. When did the trouble start, Miss Rao, with Mr. Cruz?
When I saw that the land was eroding, I put rocks there to hold up the land. Here, the land is going down the hill.
I don't understand. Do you have a photograph to show me
Yes,
what
I
you
do.
mean? I'd like to see it.
That's the photographs of the damage and the
Well, I
the
don't want
land.
to see the I'll take them all. Let me see if I can find what you're talking about. Okay. I'm looking at this picture. Is this the area where you were placing rocks?
Yes,
Okay. On whose property is this?
Mr. Cruz.
So you were placing rocks on Mr. Cruz's property.
Some of it is my property. I was placing it real close to the fence.
Well, you can't place rocks on his property, Miss Rao.
I was placing it on my property.
No, you also said you were placing...
He said, "What are you doing?" I told him, and he said, "Fine."
Just a second.
Okay.
Before you do it...
That's not true.
Okay. If that was true, that was very nice of him. But before you step on somebody else's property to make any alterations, you call them and you ask for permission. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, I'll start with you, Mr. Cruz. Why don't you tell me what happened?
November 2nd, we got up and I looked out my kitchen window and I actually could see up the slope to her house. And I saw some garbage, branches, tennis shoe. I see PVC pipe. I see a bucket. Those black ones when the plants come in. I told my wife I'll be right back. I went to her house, knocked on her door to see if she was there. I've cleaned it 3 times
Now,
already.
that's on your property.
Yes, ma'am. It's on my property.
Is this a back part of your property?
Yes, it's a back with a big slope, like maybe 70 feet long.
And on the other side of the property is...
Her fence in the pool.
Okay.
Touched the door, so I went home. I went up the slope. I picked up the black bucket, a couple of root plants, and a couple rocks, and I tossed it over the fence. And that dirt right there that you see was covered all with ice plant. There was no exposure of the PVC pipe. I have a picture, ma'am.
Let me see it, please.
I have a couple pictures. Plus, I also found a rock in my pool. And it's not rock, it's actually cement. Take a look through those. And there's also a picture of a ladder that she uses to climb over my fence. Because she's been in my property. I've seen her 3 times. The last time I saw her, she was just sitting there pulling some ice plants. And I said to my wife, let's just ignore her.
Why were you pulling these ice plants?
I got his permission. I asked him if he would please
She just
trim
said
his
you're-
ice. Mind if I do it? He said it was fine. So I hired a guy to trim his ice plant. And I told him at that time I was going to put rocks there to keep the land from going down the hill. And I was going to put plants there, plants with good roots to hold the soil. I was trying to better the property. I would never, ever, I was afraid of him and still afraid of him. I would never
Miss
put
Rao,
garbage on his place.
Miss Rao, listen to me. Somebody in your house was using part of his property to dump stuff.
No, Your Honor, no.
Well,
The tennis
otherwise, what you're saying
I don't
to
know
me...
where the tennis shoe came from. I have no idea where a tennis shoe came from. It was a huge man's tennis shoe. I live in my house by myself. I'm trying to clean up the area.
Okay. Now, I would like you to tell me what kind of damage you allege was done as a result of his throwing this debris over, and I want to see your police report, please.
He did not give a police report.
Well, if you don't have a police report, don't give me anything else.
What is this notice that he came out? I don't know why they didn't do it.
Darlene's fiance.
Okay.
And I picked up the police report, and the sheriff's department did not do a police report on an incident because there was no threats made and there was no physical
Well, that's not true,
damage.
because I have a police report here indicating that the alleged violation that Mr. Cruz was complaining of was trespassing, dumping onto property, and repeating violations.
Your Honor, anything I did was try to improve the property. I would never, first of all, I'm afraid of Mr.
Ms.
Cruz.
Rao, you cannot elect to improve somebody else's property.
Was to take care of my property, it's sliding
You
down the hill.
cannot elect to improve someone else's
I'm
property.
trying to prevent my land from going down. I was just going to put rock there to save the land.
I'm going to say it to you one more time. You can't